Welcome back to another Salty Van Ventures video. If you don't know me, my name is Marcel and I like to build vans and show other people how to build their own camper van. So I'm actually going to be fixing some newly formed surface rust in the van that has popped up behind this transit sign. But before I get into that, we actually have a new member of the Salty Van Ventures family. So this is little baby Mila. She was born about 4 months ago, so we are super excited to have her. That's why I probably haven't been posting enough videos, but I will be actually making some videos very shortly to kind of babyfy this van. So that includes creating a bed for her and also legally adding a child restraint to the front seat so we can put a baby seat in the van for her. You want to go traveling in the van? Yeah? All right, let's get started with the fix. Okay, I'm not exactly sure why this rust started forming. Basically, it started to bubble under the paint, and I have a suspicion that before I bought the van, there might have been an accident or some damage on the rear that has been repaired, and that is why the paint might have started to peel off. It's probably been like this for too long. I just haven't gotten around to fixing it yet. But any rust like this, regardless of the size, is super important to fix before you start converting your van, or even at the first sight of seeing it, to prevent it spreading like cancer, which can cause major problems later down the track. So I'm going to show you how to fix this and hopefully get it back to the factory look so that you will never notice that this door was fixed or painted. So I'm going to show you now all the items that I'm going to use to fix this up. Okay, so this is basically everything you're going to need to do an at-home rust repair job similar to that, or even smaller or on a bigger scale. It's pretty much the same. So first off, I have to remove that transit sticker, which is right on top of the rust. I'm going to use this fishing line. It is actually braided line. It is super strong. It is much stronger and thinner and really sharp compared to monofilament, which is the clear fishing line. And I've also heard you can use dental floss. Once you get that sticker off, you need to clean all the rust and the paint. There's a few ways of doing that depending on how bad your rust actually is. Starting off with sandpaper. This is 80 grit. You can go from 60 to 120 depending on how deep it is. And to make it a little bit easier, you can put it on a sanding machine. For the more stubborn rust, you can use a wire wheel on a drill. And then for the really deep stubborn rust, you can use a flap disc, which is basically sandpaper on a disc on an angle grinder that'll really cut through anything. I've also got a whole bunch of different grit sandpapers ranging all the way from 80 to 3000. Anything over 240 is wet and dry stuff, so that is the stuff you wet before you sand. If you can't get all the rust out and there's little pits, you need to treat it. This is a rust converter of phosphoric acid. Then after the rust removal process, if you need to fill any holes to get it perfectly smooth again, this is a 2-part fiberglass filler. Next, you need to prep the area for painting. So I've got some plastic prep sheets, some masking tape to mask all the areas I don't want paint on. Then comes the painting part. You need to make sure it's clean. So I've got wax and grease remover. This is a primer putty. So you prime the raw metal with this and it also fills in tiny little holes. This is the color matched paint. So my van is actually frozen white, which is the Ford color. If you don't know what the color of your van is, it'll normally be labeled in the user manual. And then this is the top clear coat. This specific one is a hardened clear coat, so you actually activate the hardener through the bottom. I actually bought this set on eBay for about $100 and it came with all 3 cans. And then after all that, if you've still got some imperfections, which is common if you're using at-home spray cans, you can clean up anything with some cut and polish to get everything looking as good as you can. I'm going to be reapplying the same transit logo, so I need to reapply some double-sided tape. This stuff is awesome. It's a 3M double-sided foam tape and it is like nothing else I've used. It sticks so well. Lastly, you're gonna need a lot of rags. So a lot of clean cotton or lint-free rags is gonna make your life a lot easier, doing a lot of scrubbing, cleaning, making sure the surface is spotless. The more you clean, the more you prep, the better result you're going to get. Okay, the very first step is I got to take this transit logo off. These are normally just held on with some double-sided tape, but before I do that, so I know where to align it exactly in the same spot when I stick it back on, is I'm going to mark out some kind of template so I can measure off each end, because it's going to be super hard to eyeball if I don't have a template or something to put it back on. So I'm going to use some masking tape for that and a pencil, make a little template and then peel it off and then save it for later. So I've actually made these little markers on the tape so I can reference back when I go to stick these on exactly where all the ends of the letters go. Hopefully that will make putting this on a lot easier. Next, I want to use a plastic scraper to remove the excess sticky stuff that is left on the door. I've looked literally everywhere, but I just can't find it. Luckily though, I have a 3D printer, so I'm just going to print myself a new plastic scraper. Now these 3D printers are amazing, and I've got some really big ideas about how I'm going to improve my van design by 3D printing some stuff. So if you're interested in that, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out. The scraper printed really well, it just wasn't strong enough to remove the really tough glue. Then I realized I don't really need to protect the paint anyway, as I'm going to sand it all down, so I hit it with a metal scraper. I wanted to get it all off so it wouldn't gunk up my sanding pads, but the metal scraper still wouldn't do it. So I used a little bit of paint stripper to loosen up the glue, which inevitably removed the paint as well. So I first started sanding with 60 grit sandpaper with my random orbital sander, but it wasn't really doing much damage. It was taking very thin layers off at a very slow pace. So I pulled out the next tool in my arsenal, which is the wire wheel on the brush, which really made an impact removing that paint from the bare metal. Now this is a great low impact tool as it removes the paint but doesn't dig into the metal like an angle grinder would, which would create an uneven surface of the bare metal. When you're fixing rust, just like this, getting the steps right really matters. Now if you skip something or rush it, the rust will just come back, sometimes even worse, and you end up doing the job again. Now building a van's much the same. If you don't plan it properly from the start, it'll cost you later. Things like plumbing that leaks once you're on the road, insulation that ends up trapping moisture behind the walls, or incorrectly wired electrical systems can cause havoc. Now I've seen all these mistakes and made some of them myself, so that's why I've put together Vanbuild Academy. Now this course walks you through the entire process, step by step, of building a van so you can get it right the first time and save yourself a ton of time and stress. So if you're starting a van build, this course might be something worth checking out. It'll make the whole process so much smoother for you. If you are interested, check the link in the description to find out more. Okay, so I've got most of the paint off with the wire wheel on the drill. So now that I've kind of cleaned it all up, I can really see where the rust has eaten down a bit further into the metal. There's these little pits of black oxidation, and it's a different texture than the rest of the bare metal. So what I'm gonna do is use an angle grinder and one of these flap discs. This is 60 grit sandpaper on the flap disc. I'm gonna carefully go and just take it all down the bare metal, and then I won't have to use any rust converter if I can get a nice clean finish. Then I'm going to go over it with sandpaper to feather all these edges as it dips down quite a bit into the bare metal. So I've feathered it down on all the edges to 120 grit sandpaper. That is very nice and smooth now, but you can definitely see the pitting from all the rust here, which I wasn't able to get at with the grinder as I risked burning the metal and I didn't want to dig too deep into it. So I'm going to use rust converter on these pits to seal them up. If I don't, the rust will actually come back through the paint. So you really want to prep this right. I've just cleaned it with some methylated spirits. Okay, so this is what I'm going to use. It's a phosphoric acid-based rust converter. So basically that converts the iron oxide in the rust to a stable compound, essentially neutralizes the rust. Pretty easy to apply. You just apply it with a brush, wait 30 minutes, wipe it off with a bit of water, then methylated spirits, and then a clean cloth, and it is ready to go. And you can already see that this rust is actually turning a black element, which is the ferric phosphate. Okay, I was just taping up the van and I noticed another rust spot up here, which is very similar to that pitting that I saw down here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fix this spot up here on the same panel, which basically means that I'm going to respray the whole door. So I just started sanding that bit up there and I noticed that it actually has some body filler in the panel work, which means that is a previous repair job which has started to rust through. So this orange stuff here is body filler, the rust spots underneath there which have come through from a previous repair job. There might have been a smash to the window or something, I'm not sure. Having said that, that is different to what happened down here. There was definitely no body filler here. Might have been something to do with maybe double-sided tape penetrating the paint, I have no idea. Leave a comment down below if you do know. So this time, because I knew I was going to remove quite a bit of material, I went straight to the angle grinder with the flap disc. So this is a common occurrence when fixing rusts in vehicles. You go down a rabbit hole, you think there's only a little bit of rust, you grind it back, you find more, you grind it back, you find something worse. So there's actually a little pinhole here that has formed. So I'm gonna have to grind this back, probably with my Dremel, get it all nice and clean, and then I'm gonna have to use some auto body filler to fill that hole up, to fill up those little holes and to create a nice uniform smooth surface again, as there is kind of some severe pittings from where I've had to grind into that rust. I'm gonna use some body filler. So this is a 2-part fiberglass filler. You just add this hardener to it, mix it up, and it does cure very quickly, maybe like 10 or 15 minutes. It's gonna go rock hard. Then you can sand it back and start working your nice smooth finish. So to get this perfectly uniform again, it did take me a couple of reapplications of the body filler. So after sanding it back, I applied another coat just to fill in the holes and gaps that I missed the first time round, and then sanded it back again. I'm now giving the whole area I'm going to prime a hit with 240 grit sandpaper, which will key the paint, allowing the primer to stick better. Then cleaning it with a wax and grease remover. The primer I'm using is a primer filler, which is a type of primer that not only provides a foundation for the paint to stick, but also fills in minor imperfections such as small scratches, dents, or uneven surfaces that I didn't remove prior. I'm just doing some wet sanding now, getting it all nice and smooth. This is with 800 grit wet and dry. So I'll just go do a couple of these, go over it with another layer of the primer until it is absolutely flawless. I did a total of 3 coats of the primer, sanding in between each coat until I was happy with the finish. Okay, now comes the fun part. So this is the color matched frozen white color of this Transit. I've prepped the whole panel of this side of the door. I've sanded it down with 800 grit sandpaper, the whole door. I've cleaned it with a wax and grease remover. And I've also installed this windbreak here, as it is a little bit windy today. So I'm making sure that I'm not gonna get any overspray going down there. It's also gonna make spraying a lot easier because I'm not gonna lose as much spray paint. I'm gonna start from the middle and feather my way out, and then do 2 or 3 coats here. I probably don't need as many coats on the rest of the van. So I've already seen that I've got shit in my nozzle and it's creating a little bit of a splatter. Better. First layer of the base coat is on. I've done a pretty good job, except for there were a couple of issues with the spray nozzle. It has sprayed a couple of drips. I'm just going to hit them now with some 1200 wet and dry really lightly, just to get rid of those drips. And I've changed the nozzle on the spray can, so hopefully that won't happen again. And then I'll give it another coat. Okay, I'm done with the white painting now, and it has come out really well. I'm super duper happy with it. So that paint is actually quite a matte flat paint. Where I'm going to get the gloss from now is the next step. This is now the 2K high gloss clear coat. This is on all cars. So the cross section of car paint jobs is normally the primer, then the base coat, which is the color, then the clear coat. And the clear coat is normally somewhere like double the thickness of all the other paints. So it is what protects your paint when you get scratched. So if you drive through bushes or something, you won't actually scratch the color, you'll scratch clear coat, and then you can buff it out. So this is actually a 2-part in a spray can, which is really nifty. It's got a little nozzle down here, and I'm gonna have to activate it by tapping that down on a flat surface, and then that's the hardener inside the clear coat, and it only gives me about 24 hours to work with this, so this is going to be its only job. I'm just going to use it the whole thing on this door. I'm going to give this a real good shake and then go over with a light mist. Okay, it is now the next day. It has hardened. So the spraying didn't go as flawlessly as I had hoped. There was some issues with the nozzle and it started to splatter a little bit. But if that ever happens to you, don't worry, there is a way to fix it. As I'll show you, I have done it actually on a couple of these little spots. Basically, I sanded it down with 800, 1200, 2000, and then 3000 grit wet and dry sandpaper until I got that little blemish out of the clear coat. And then I went over the whole area with a cut and polish paste, which is basically like sanding, but extra fine. After sanding back those blemishes, I could have gone over with another layer of the clear coat, but I had actually run out. But here is the final result of what it looks like. I'm super happy with it, and you can't tell that there was any repair at all. So now that's all done, I'm gonna put the sticker back on and it's job done. I'm gonna recycle the old logo. I've taken all the sticky stuff off. So I used a paint stripper originally, and then I used some carby cleaner to take the rest of the residue off. To tape them back on, I'm gonna use this 3M double-sided tape, but obviously this is much too thick. So I'm going to lay it down on this piece of melamine, strip it down with a ruler and a razor blade into nice little thin strips, and then I'm gonna apply it to the back of this ready to go. I traced the logo out onto this piece of masking tape. So once I'm done, I'm gonna stick it all back on there, and then it's gonna be much easier to just stick the logo back onto the van. Before I stick it back on, I'm prepping the area one last time with a wax and grease remover, then reapplying my masking tape templates.